One of the things that we were here, for those of us who were here on Thursday, Elizabeth Childs, who is, challenging you for the nomination, made a point that the district, you have to win Newton, Brookline, Needham in order to really win the district, and that because they tend more left than the rest of the district, she would have more of an advantage being a middle-of-the-roader versus a more conservative originalist, as I would like to call you. How would you address that not an accusation, but that point, and how would you overcome that potential issue?
Sure. First, there's a primary, which Elizabeth became a Democrat. Became a Republican a month before she got in the race.
Yeah.
The past 15 years, she's voted Democrat. In the last election in 2010, she voted in the Democratic primary. So she either voted for Barney or for Rachel Brown. That doesn't play well in a Republican primary.
Mm-hmm.
We already have all our signatures. We're the first, including Kennedy, the first campaign.
You can continue on that, but I'm more specifically concerned about the general election in those towns.
Okay.
There. And being elected, as opposed to just having a good showing.
But so those speak to organization.
Yeah.
Which is huge in the primary and in the general.
Okay.
You win the general or the primary by doing everything you need for the general. Yeah. But in terms of just basic ideology, Democrats are going to vote for a Democrat over a Republican claiming to be a Democrat any day of the week, particularly when it's a Kennedy.
Right.
You have to create a real point of differentiation. You have to create a real set of issues that's different in order to win as a Republican. And if you look at the numbers again, I like data. 2 to 4% of people on either end of the political spectrum voted on social issues. There's this notion that social issues drive all these votes. Not true. Not right now. Not in Massachusetts. Not when people are concerned about jobs and fiscal responsibility. So that's one thing. The second thing is, if you look at the breakdown of unenrolleds, of independents, I got 2/3 of those votes. So in a district where there's a stronger percentage of unenrolled voters who actually turn out, that's a great place to be. So the projections I talked about earlier were based on, in Brookline I got 24% of the vote, but so did everybody else. Actually, they got a little less. In Newton, I got 35%. The only candidate who outpolled me was Mary, who got 1,500 more votes. This idea that a Republican, regardless of their stance, anybody with an R next to their name is not going to get more than maybe 1% or 2% higher than that. Scott didn't even do that well against a weak opponent. So the strategy of winning in the North is a poor strategy. Where you're going to win this district is in these sorts of towns, in the central part of the district. And in the central part of the district, Republicans want to vote for Republicans. Independents want to vote for people whose ideas they understand and agree with, and that largely tends to be Republicans. So I don't believe this wolf in sheep's clothing argument that you can win by being in one party and ostensibly being in another. I don't think it makes sense. I don't think there's data there to support it, and I just don't think it's any strategy.